another episode of Coder Conversations. This is Kevin.
This is TC.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like the old days.
Yep, taking it back to one on one.
Man,
Yeah,
I know a lot's been changing for you, man. Got the new job, making a lot
yeah.
more money. How's everything been going?
Um, I say this a lot. Like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I don't know if you ever
Yeah,
heard that quote before. That's something that just came to mind. And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, okay, today's the day. Today's the day I get let go. Today's the day I get let go. Today's the day I get figured out. That imposter syndrome's crazy, man. It creeps up on you quick. And even when you don't think, even though I don't, how do I say this? I didn't go into this thinking like I'm gonna, lose the job or whatever. But it does have its moments where it creeps up and it's like, mm, is this real? But then like I'll have a meeting or one on one with somebody and they'll say like a bunch of good things like, oh yeah, you're doing this, and I hear that this you're helping out so and so with this, or you're pair programming on this, and that's great, keep it up. And I'm like, okay, cool. One day down, another day to go tomorrow. So, um, overall, besides that, like it's cool. It's cool. It's definitely there's definitely a wow factor where it's like, wow, they're paying me how much to write,
right.
React work and unit testing and stuff. Um, and I'm definitely like trying to stop myself from just like doing
Just
whatever,
going
just wilding
crazy.
out. Yeah, yeah. Um, so I
Have
actually
you
sat
have you
down and
treated
wrote
yourself
a
any?
budget. Huh?
Have you treated yourself any yet? Like you buy a new computer or
Uh, I'm trying to think. Like something that okay, I'll say this. I went out and I bought like a bunch of records. So I bought a record player. I don't know if I told you. Uh, so I bought a record player, and then I bought like 5 albums, 6 albums. But it's crazy how much album prices are compared to CDs. Like
yeah,
I think I bought Kendrick Lamar's CD, his new album on CD. It was like 20, no, it was like 15 or 20 bucks, something like that. But the same one on vinyl was like $60, and I'm just like, damn, like it's not the it, I, from 20 to 60 doesn't seem like a lot because $60 is the same price for a video game, but
yeah,
like Elden Ring is $60, but I got 130 hours of entertainment out of Elden Ring, right?
right.
Kendrick Lamar's album is like what 40 minutes, probably an hour long, probably no more than that. But for $60, like, that's an hour a
Like,
minute.
what made you want to get that on record players? Like, it's
It's
more of a
good.
collectible, or does it sound better?
I just like it. I like
Mm,
I like that whole album from start to finish. Like when I heard it the first time, it's like by the time I got home, like the album was ending, and I was like, damn, that's really good. That's something that I could just throw on the stereo and just let it play.
mm,
Um, I'm trying to find a lot of albums that are like that, where you just throw it on and just let it play in the background. And yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
that's probably the closest thing I want to splurging.
don't get too caught up in the audiophile thing, man. You'll drop a fortune on that if you're not careful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm not trying to get into the whole like you gotta have the right speakers and you gotta have the right headphones because I definitely saw that light as I started like diving into like audio equipment and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm a homebody, but I don't want to have a whole setup just to be at home.
Exactly.
So
Because you could spend like $10,000 on a record player alone, or twenty
yeah,
thousand dollars on speakers. It's crazy how like some people just go to the extreme for that stuff.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm not about that life right now. I'm definitely the very beginner stages of audiophileness. Yeah.
Man, try to keep it there, man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
I'm definitely trying to keep it there. You know me. My goal right now is still to get a home and stuff. So
yeah.
that's where my budget's going. Yeah.
Have you been looking? You seen anything interesting on the market?
I haven't seen anything. I haven't been looking. No, but I did talk to my mom about like it's a little bit personal, but for a while she's been like battling the courts. I don't know if I told you. I probably mentioned it maybe once or twice. But she's been battling courts trying to get the house back from the courts, and so uh, we've been talking about possibly like we would settle it out of court. We would settle it out of court, and I would buy it back from from them. So however that works, I'm looking at like if it's possible to possibly get like an FHA loan, and then just like use that to buy back the home, and then
Okay.
that way we have it in our name. So that's my big goal right now. I'll be here for the next year and just saving up, and in 12 to 14 months, just drop I don't know how much on the home. Hopefully get it back. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the game
I
plan.
see. Like, I see price drops on the way in the market, but they still haven't really reflected yet. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a lot of people are flooding the market with their houses just to see if they can get the the extreme prices. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think I mean I don't know if there's any correlation. I don't know, you know, half of what's going on. I really stay in my lane, but when I look at like the gas prices, like out here, the gas is finally starting to go down, and it makes way more sense than it did way back a couple months ago, where it was like almost $5 a gallon. Um, Now it's like low four, like 4.30, 4 4.30 ish, and I'm hoping that it goes down to 3. That'd be nice. Um, but I'm hoping that by that going down, that like housing will sort of like slowly start to follow, if there's any correlation. Um, yeah,
yeah, people if they can't sell a house due to the interest rates increasing and all that stuff. Yeah, you might be able to get a good deal. It
yeah,
just
I'm
takes a
hopeful.
little while.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. That's the whole thing. I'm not in a rush. So
No, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a
yeah.
pain to move everything out, man.
Oh, I know, I know. It was a pain moving in, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna just call professional movers and get like 5 or 6 dudes to just like move everything. So I'm budgeting for that just because I I look at it like this, where like if I have the ability to pay for somebody to do it and I don't feel like doing it or I don't want to do it myself, I'd rather pay somebody to do it because one, they need business, right? They offer a service, they need business. I'll pay them to do it. The same way that I could clean my carpets, right? I could buy the little machine and clean my own carpets, but if somebody's offering that service and I know they do a good job and I have the funds to do it, why not? You know?
Yeah, no need wasting it. If that's not something you want to really do, and
Right,
save you a lot of time, why not pay somebody?
right. And that's how I see it. It's like I'd rather pay somebody to do it than do it myself. Like doing it myself would be like the last thing that I want to do,
What about
depending on what it
car?
is.
You think about getting a new car, or you gonna chill and wait for that?
Um, no, I'm gonna. Well, with my sister driving, I might have to. And the reason I say that is just because there's definitely days where I'll be like, "Oh, I want to go so and so," and she's just like, "No, I have the car." I'm just like, "I've created a monster." I
Yeah,
pushed her to drive. Now she's on the freeway and doing all this other stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we just want you to go to work and come home. Like all this extra stuff, not necessary."
I mean, it's good though. She gets her independence, man. It has to happen someday.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I'm glad. I'm glad that she kind of broke free and did her own thing. She's starting school soon, which is awesome. She's gonna go to massage therapy school.
Okay.
So I'm hopeful about that. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. Gotta
Yeah,
gotta make these moves, especially in this economy.
yeah, yeah. You gotta make all the moves that you can. That's sort of in my mindset where it's like, what can I? How can I use what I have and put it towards something that's gonna benefit me later? Because
Yeah,
you could, you know, uh, I could be back at where I was before, and getting by. But it's like, all right, now that I have excess, like, what do I do with it? So that's kind of how I see it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We got a guest that's tuned in. How you doing, Camille? But
He's
yeah,
he's in the chat.
that's on LinkedIn. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, back to what you're saying. That yeah, you got to invest, man. I've been taking a bunch of like different courses, learning how to increase views on YouTube and all of that stuff. Like this social media thing, man. It's this whole own monster, man. It's like its own job. Learning how
It
to
can be.
craft titles, yeah,
Yeah,
thumbnails. So
yeah,
once we started having those thumbnails, man, our views like really stepped it up. So
yeah. I think so. I think so too. Where it's like thumbnails. It's a whole. There's a whole game to it at this point. And the people that got in early understood the rules of the game better, right? They understand thumbnails. They understand titles. They understand metadata. All that stuff. Social media equipment, especially. Lighting,
hmm
microphone equipment, headphones, etc. All that goes hand in hand. But I do feel like there are times where, let's say, for example, uh, well, let me back up before I give examples. I do feel like there are times where people say they want to be something or they want to do something. Like let's say they want to become an influencer or whatever, but they focus on the wrong stuff. They're like, oh, I have
yeah,
to have a flashy car. I have to have the clothes. I have to have this. I have that. I have to have that. But it's like you have to you have to build a platform and a brand. It's not about the flashy this, the flashy that. Look at MKBHD, I think his name is, right.
hmm
That acronym could be wrong, but look at his first couple of videos on his YouTube. Low quality and not the best, but he has, you know, he has something, and he cultivates that over time.
yeah. His stuff is really nice now, man. So yeah, it's a progressive thing.
Yeah.
Like even when we first started, our stuff was like super bootleg, like
y- Yep.
laptop camera.
Laptop camera, audio only. Yep. I remember those days.
Man, this thing has come so far, man. It hasn't really reflected in the views as of yet, but the content is there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. It just takes time. You just gotta stick with it, and that's with anything, man. Like for me, a big thing has been like working out. Like I invested into the home gym life, and there was definitely a drop off point where I just wasn't working out. I'm like, bruh. I look outside and all I see is dollar signs, and I see a drain, and I'm just like,
Right.
oh, come on, man. I got it. I have to use it. It's there for a reason. And so, um, you know, you have all the utilities there, but yeah, at that point, it's like you just have to put in the work. That's what I'm trying to say. You could have
Yeah.
even if you have all the materials there, if you don't put in the work, you're not gonna, nothing's gonna happen. The weights
Yeah,
don't
man.
move themselves.
There's there's no secret formula to it. It's just working hard and staying consistent with it. Like there's no book or tech, book you can read or technique you can learn that's just gonna magically get you to where you want to be at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, so like, what are your fitness goals? You just want to slim up, or are you trying to get like
I'm
swole or something?
well. I'm trying to bulk up just because for me, uh, I can easily just not eat. Right. And this habit runs in my family, and I don't know what it is, but when we have a goal, or when we have something that we're working on specifically, uh, nothing else matters. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm studying leak code or I have a problem with a ticket, in Jira, and I'm just like laser focused on it, I will get rid of everything else just to focus in on this problem and fix it. And if I don't, I'm gonna be frustrated. Like, and I don't know if that's healthy or not. It doesn't sound healthy the way that I'm describing it, but it's like I'm so deep into the rabbit hole trying to solve something or do something that I just forego eating. And so I'll have coffee in the morning, I'll have breakfast, but then like lunch, probably not dinner, but yeah, like lunch, I can skip over that. And then by doing that consistently enough, I'll lose weight, and like you can see it like in my neck and in my shoulders, and it just looks really bad. So my whole goal now is to like put on size. And
Yeah.
one big thing for me is just like pulling myself out of that tunnel vision when I see myself like going there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I think you're somebody that's not really like a foodie like that. You know what I mean? Like some people just love eating.
oh do I love I, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking. And if I'm in the mood for like eating a lot, I'll eat a lot. And I think the difference, well, let me say this. For me, it can be hard to eat a lot just because I have to cook in order to eat. And some days I don't feel like cooking. But I don't and I'm not a big fan of like eating out. So I can't just like jump up and go to McDonald's or Chipotle
Mm.
or whatever, especially with my sister having the car.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So so you having to prepare the food, it kind of deters you because it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
gotta actually get it. I just
Yeah, it's like, oh, I gotta go do this and I gotta go do that. And yeah, it kind of deters me from just doing it. But I wish. But some people do. Yeah, you're right. Some people do just love to. They they love to eat.
man, it's
Uh,
crazy, man. But I've been hearing a lot of people talking about having heartburn lately, man. I think it's something in the food. Like,
Heartburn.
yeah, a lot of food is like slightly acidic now.
I could see it. Like mm,
It's like a lot of stuff you wouldn't even think is like acidic, like tomato sauce. So you can't really eat spaghetti or
tomato
pizza.
sauce.
Yeah, tomato
That
sauce is
seems
actually acidic.
wow.
Chocolate, um, obviously citrus. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like I can't even eat a lot of stuff because it starts giving me heartburn. Spicy foods.
That comes to mind when I think of like heartburn. When I think of like, but I've never heard of like chocolate giving somebody heartburn. That seems
Yeah,
crazy.
it's kind of crazy, man. But yeah, it's like if you, coffee is another one. So that one kind of sucks, man, because I really enjoy the taste of coffee, but I have to like really limit the amount that I drink, and I usually do like mixed drinks, like like coffee and milk or something. But yeah,
Yeah,
man,
no,
health
I
is
try
ultra
to.
important.
Hmm?
I was just saying, health is like ultra important, man.
Yeah, Yeah, I've got to kick it up a notch with my health stuff because I'm good though. I feel like I'm in a good spot where I'm waking up early. Like, I'm making breakfast. I'm sticking to like I'm limiting my caffeine, but I think like come the middle of the day, it just drops off. Like all my motivation, all of my like uh, not determination. I guess motivation is the only word. The motivation to like to work out and eat right and all the other stuff that I have like planned in my day just kind of goes nosedives.
Yeah, man, that's a thing, man. Especially like when you're coding, you start getting worn out, and you just don't feel like doing anything after work. It's like I'm just chill. Like my mind's drained. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's definitely moments where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. Like if you probably saw me on Tetris the other day.
No, no, I didn't see you on there, but
Yeah, where I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
like, I want to do something that's fun, that's not too challenging, and just enjoy, you know, and just
yeah.
get away. And so I recently picked up Tetris, and that's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's not too serious. It's just you pick it up, you mess around with some blocks, you put them down. That's it.
Yeah, I kind of like those pick up and play games, like where you don't have to like really get into it just to be able to do anything. You kind of like
Yeah,
play for 30 minutes and put it up.
yeah. You know, that's that's a good word for it. Pick up and play. Like you pick it up, you play for a little bit, you put it down. That's it.
Have you been buying any new games, or you just pretty much playing like the same stuff?
Uh, I've kind of been going back and completing the game or trying to complete the games that I never finished. So, for example, like God of War, I recently went back and even though I beat the story, I didn't beat the post game content. So I don't know if you played God of War on the PlayStation before.
Well, not the newest ones. I kind
Oh,
of left it alone after I think part three.
yeah. Okay. Well, there's post game content in God of War where after you finish the story, you have to beat these like 8 Valkyries or whatever, and they're tough. So I've been playing that. I just recently beat the 8 Valkyries. That was last weekend, and then recently picked up Tetris. Been playing that, and what else? Playing a lot of
You know what's
Tekken.
actually, what's kind of crazy is PS5 is actually in stock on Walmart.
You really?
Yeah,
Dang.
let me do.
You
Well,
about to
it
get
was like
one?
a, yeah, this the Horizon bundle.
You gonna
It's
get
kind
it?
of like nah. Yeah, I got the Xbox, so it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not really the exclusive games for it hasn't really dropped yet, so I'm just kind of like just
549.
wasting money. It's there if you want it.
Let me see
I
if
was
it's
tempted.
available over here.
You thinking
Let me
about
see.
getting it?
Nah. There's no reason.
Exactly.
There's there's no. Wow.
What happened?
Oh no, it's available by invitation through Amazon. That's weird.
Oh, it's still invitation only on there.
Let me see. Yeah, it's here. 549. Horizon Zero Dawn. What happens if I hit add to cart? Unable to add to cart.
Let me click that and see if it worked. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, unable to add to cart.
Never mind. I guess they just tricking you to
I don't know. There's one
come and
for
look.
they got one for 640. It's digital only though.
Yeah, I'm good on that. If I'm gonna pay that, they better give me the full one, the one with the disc. Even though I probably won't use it, I just like having the option.
Yeah. I don't know about the whole digital only, world. I don't I don't I don't see the point,
Yeah,
you know?
I buy most of my games digitally, but I like to have the ability. Like if I see a cool sale or something, let me go get this. Just get the disc version.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the collectability factor kind of disappears. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, they used to actually put in effort when they sold these games, like in the packaging, especially like working designs. Do you remember them? And they like Lunar and all that. Well, ported
Yeah.
it over.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna pick up a copy of Lunar one of these days. I want to go
How
back
much is that
and
running for now?
I think I saw a copy of it for like 80 bucks.
$80.
Yeah, on eBay.
Does it come with like all the stuff?
I don't know. Maybe.
Every time I see it, it's like 200. Let me just look that up right now. See what it's going for. $400
Whoa.
or best offer. Oh, this one's factory sealed though.
Sealed. There you go.
11 watchers. Oh, okay, if you buy it now, it's 400. Could you see yourself dropping 400 on this? The
No.
factory sealed one.
Nope. I can't justify that. No. I can't because
300.
it just don't make sense to me. There we go. 66 bucks. Right there. That's me.
3 days. Well, it's probably gonna get up to like 120 or something by the time it's done.
Yeah, probably.
67. What about 239? You think you could do this?
I can't. I can't. I don't know what I got, what my mom spent on it for me when I was growing up, but I just can't see myself spending that money on it.
Yeah.
Like the most I'll spend is 80 bucks, maybe 100. I'll push myself to say 100 bucks. That's the highest I'm going.
Front cover art only. Wow. This is almost 500 bucks.
I can't see myself spending that. It's too much. Unless you're just that crazy of a collector. You know what I mean? Like you have to
Yeah, it's like
really just like it has to. You have to buy it and then just let it sit. Like don't even play it.
350. Wow. Let me see. I think that YouTube and the internet kind of ruined the used games market, man. Like these prices are terrible. $450. 115. Let me see. What was another good RPG on PlayStation?
An RPG on the PlayStation. Um,
Xenogears 350. Hmm.
how much Legend of Dragoon?
Okay, yeah. Or what are you thinking it's gonna sell for? It's like a sealed copy.
A sealed copy of Legend of Dragoon. 150.
I'm gonna go for 300. What?
You sharing your screen? I still see Luna.
Oh, yo, you don't see it?
I still see
Oh, okay.
Luna.
Hold up. Okay, yeah, but let's see. There we go.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Wow.
No manual. Disc only. 11 bucks. $50 or best offer. There you go. Was that used?
It is. Yeah, it got the ugly looking box, but for $50, you can't beat it.
You don't like the greatest hitbox?
I mean, it looks terrible
Oh man, I used to love the greatest hitbox.
with this lime green.
Yep, yep. That's how you knew it was a good game.
Legend of Dragoon. Let me just look up best PS RPGs.
Saga Frontier,
Okay, yeah, Saga Frontier. How much you think that's gonna go for? I'm gonna go for 300
4.
for.
Saga Frontier 2. 2. Wow.
Okay, part one is 200, two is 300.
Oh, they have it on the Switch
Man,
now? Man, that must be
Y-
nice.
yeah, they got the remaster one on Switch. I bought it, played it a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of dated.
Mm, there's
Let me
another
see.
game I'm thinking of, but I can't remember the name of it.
I wonder
It's
if
an
how much the
RPG.
wow, authentic tested Chrono Trigger Super NES cartridge box
Seven
transmit.
hundred bucks.
This box looks all beat up.
It's authentic though. Got the box, the game.
How much you think Final Fantasy VI is gonna go for?
Mm, 500 bucks.
I'm gonna go 800. Let's see, 300. Okay. Hmm. Let's see, Super Mario RPG. That's not bad. $100. You see how much Yoshi's Island is going for.
Sharing your screen.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me close these other windows. It just keeps on typing in the wrong window. Wow, this is only $56.
It's not as popular as
As popular as I thought. Let's see, Lufaya 2. Let's see, 160.
yeah, it's all the older games that people that you can't play anymore, or that you can't find anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Now, was you on the internet back in like the GeoCities days, like
I
whenever
was
I had to.
on the GeoCities, or it was back then. It was Angel Fire, GeoCities, MySpace, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
I actually found a site that archived GeoCities.
Really?
Let me pull this up. Man, the internet used to be so ugly, man,
Yeah, but
but it's more
you know,
interesting.
well, back then it's just it's not like how I say it. We didn't have any other. We didn't have standards as far as like design and UI and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Area 51 Atlantis.
Wow.
It's late
We
again
had
for
no
inclusion.
standards. People just put a background just to have a background.
I don't know. I kind of think it was like more interesting though, like just like a bunch of random stuff.
Hmm. I mean, I look at it like this, where like people just threw up whatever, especially like have you ever played that game Mugen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these sites have Mugen characters on them, where like you go there and you
But yeah, yeah. What was you saying about Mugen?
no, I was just saying like a lot of sites like this were have Mugen on them, and go there and you pull down your files and you install it and you play Mugen and like you it was a sign of quality. We're like, oh yeah, this guy makes his own site. He's got to have the Mugen files on it.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet back in the day was like really interesting. You remember where they had like Audio Galaxy, Napster, Direct
Napster,
Connect. Yeah.
yep, MIRC, Kazaa.
Mm-hmm. That chat program, Merc, MIRC. I don't know if you remember that one.
I didn't use it. I've only heard of it. Yeah, man. Back then things were so much simpler. Didn't get on the
Yeah.
phone, use the internet. Just browsed and clicked around. Didn't really care where it led you. You just browse, browse, browse.
You remember AOL Instant Messenger?
Yeah, yeah.
What
Drink,
ASL?
drink, drink. Yep, all that stuff. Drink, do do do. uh,
Did
drink,
you
do
have
do.
AOL? I actually had Prodigy Internet, so
I had AOL. Yeah, I had AOL.
okay.
So when you logged on, it would be like, "You've got mail."
Oh yeah. You
Like
remember they used to give you like all those free the disc
the
with
free
like
discs.
such
Yep.
free hours.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, they were like it was always minutes. It was always like 500 minutes or 5,000 minutes of internet. Like, oh, 5,000 minutes. Whoa, it's crazy. But in reality, it was like I don't know, something real small, a couple of hours at the most, a week.
You remember back in the day, like you either had to have a separate phone line for the internet or it blocked up the phone line.
Yeah, we just blocked up the phone line. It was a fight between, oh, you have to use the phone. Oh, you can't use the internet. Yeah.
what speed modem did y'all have? Like the 56K?
56, 56. Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
kids now they'll never know that the struggle of the internet back then. Like,
It took me, I think it took me 30 minutes to download a song.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
something
If
like
you want
that.
to download like a video of a video game, it take what like an hour or two.
No, well, yeah, if I was lucky,
You have to
uh,
leave it on overnight.
you leave it on overnight or just, download it a piece by piece. Like that was probably the
Oh
only
yeah.
cool part of like file sharing networks, where like you could pause a
Mm.
download and then like come back to it later. But then the only crappy part was like you couldn't download something and then like you couldn't do anything else. If you were on dial up, if you were downloading
Oh yeah.
something, like that was it. Yep.
Yeah. You remember like they had the T1 lines? Those were like the really fast lines back in the day.
Yep. Those were like top of the line back in the day.
Is broadband like now faster than that or about the same?
I don't know.
Let me see.
I don't I don't know. I mean now they have gigabit, right? So it's like do you even do you even consider T1 like competition? Is everything just files now?
Let's see. Okay, for example, with cable, your business may enjoy download speeds that range anywhere from 15 megabits per second to more than 100 megabits per second, which is much faster than T1.
Mm. So T1 is a fossil.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how quickly things change, man.
Yep. We're gonna look up
Like,
and be like, wow, gigabit used to be fast. Now you could just click a button and the movie's there already. Boom, done.
I think Canada's actually gonna have that hyperloop. Like they're gonna try to build one of those hyperloop things.
Okay, that's cool.
I thought Elon Musk was supposed to be building one, but
I don't think he will. He says a lot of things. I'm not. Dude, I see him and I'm like, all right, you know, we'll see. If he does it, great. If he doesn't, you know, I'm not surprised.
like when you was a kid thinking of like the year 2000, did you think it was gonna like did we reach what you thought it was gonna be, or was it more like it's not that much different from back in the day, except we just got better internet?
I definitely thought we would have like flying cars. I thought we would have like flying cars. That everything would go up, right? Besides temperatures, right?
Yeah.
Besides temperatures on the Earth, I thought everything else was gonna go up. You know, flying cars. I didn't think about smartphones. That was definitely a curveball. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
have you ever seen that movie Smart House?
Mm-mm.
So it's a Disney Channel movie called Smart House, and it basically has an AI in the house. Like the house is an AI, right? And the family can ask like Smart House, can you? I think the house has a name. I forgot the name, but basically it's almost like Alexa, where it's like, hey, can you make me breakfast? And then the house will make breakfast. Wash the dishes. The house will wash the dishes or whatever. And that was made in the early 2000s, I think. And it's like, wow, look at that, and you're like, you look at what we have now, where we have Roomba, we have Alexa, and Hey Google, and Siri and stuff, and it's like we're like kind of there, but like a parallel universe, if that makes sense. It's like it's not. We're the Jetsons. It's not like one for one, where we have like a robot cleaning up after us, but we do with like Roombas and stuff.
Yeah, it's like there, but it's kind of goofy. Like I don't even
Yeah,
turn on the but most of the time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like it, it's like yes, but no. You still need programmers to program the stuff. It doesn't automatically do it. You still need, you know, Alexa isn't asking you. Well, I don't know if Alexa asks you if you want to buy something, but sorry. But it's it's like we're kind of there, but maybe in the next like 100 years, I could see it being more of a thing if everything goes good.
Mhm.
Um,
Man, AI has actually gotten pretty good though. Like I've listened to like some AI generated music. I actually use like this AI generation thing to title one of the videos and
really,
create the description. Let me see. AI generated ad copy.
any word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it just uses. Wow.
Like this is actually like pretty good stuff too. Like it's like readable. Like you can't tell that was written by a robot. Let me see. Here we go. So say for example, let's see,
A LinkedIn ad, SEO metadata. That's crazy.
Amazon,
A
Walmart.
product listing.
Okay, yeah, let's say this just generate a LinkedIn post. Okay, what was shit the post about?
Um,
Hey, how's it going, Sean?
hey
Hey
Sean.
man, how are you?
Not bad, man. We're just playing around with this AI generation tool. It actually produces some pretty good stuff. So let's just generate a JavaScript post.
Okay,
How you doing, Terrence?
pretty good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good. JavaScript tips and tricks.
I might just post this on my actual LinkedIn and see if see if people react.
That's the test, the ultimate test right there.
Here we go. So the JavaScript landscape is always changing as new features are added and old ones become obsolete. It's important to stay up to date so you're never struggling with obsolete syntax or buggy logic. This short guide provides tips and tricks that will improve your JavaScript code base, whether you're just starting out or you've been coding for JavaScript for years. You may have heard that JavaScript is an important skill in today's tech world. If you're looking to pick up some new skills, you've come to the right place. In this post, we will discuss some tips and tricks you may find useful when working with JavaScript, along with links to the useful documentation and tutorials.
The fact that the last one gives you code examples is what's scary to me. Because if it gets smart enough, you'll be like top 10 tips and tricks to learn Carbon, and then you just like enter it into this anywhere thing, and it just spits you out this article.
Although it had a mistake, did you see that?
Um,
The
Strange
the
bunch.
code example.
Hold on.
Yeah, this one
Number
wasn't really.
8,
Oh yeah.
var num equals 10, num plus plus. It's telling you that it expects 10.
Incrementing numbers for yeah. It'll be
This one too. A five is equal to equals three. True.
Well,
yeah.
let me test
That's
that. That might actually be true in JavaScript world.
I
Yeah, we can test that right now. Let's see.
don't think
Revelant.
it's true.
No, I don't either, but it is AI, so let's test it.
Right.
Five equals three.
Yeah, it's false.
You passed the interview.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, AI generated art and music is actually pretty good. Did y'all hear about the AI that won the art competition?
I did see that. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Somebody fed it. So I think that what is it? It wasn't like he just pressed the button and it just spat out the painting. I think he fed it a bunch of different examples, and then he had to pick the right one at the end.
You know what you could do, Terrence?
Yep.
Back to the topic where we were at just a second ago.
Uh,
Write a post, something like AI wrote my code and then I started failing code reviews. Click here to find out why.
Yep. Click here to find out how I made it into Fang using AI generated code.
Or AI wrote my code and
Yeah.
then this happened to the code reviews.
Yep. All the clickbait titles. Like, AI wrote my code and I pushed it to prod. You wouldn't believe what happened next.
Oh, here's one. AI broke my code.
uh, Elon Musk
I
using it
think
fake.
that AI generating artwork is really unfair. There's like, unless
To
they have a
artists,
category for AI artwork, but
yeah,
if it's humans, then I think that's just unfair.
yeah, I see it. I see it too. Where it's like you have to have categories for these things, or
Yeah.
somebody can just easily fake it. It's not fair to artists that actually put in the time and effort.
Like some of that stuff would be probably novelty if you're like, whoa, a computer did that. But if a human did it compared to other humans, that novelty may not have persuaded people enough.
Yeah, I will say that like I can see depending on depending on how this AI can learn. Like for example, I could see consumers or like big companies using AI generated art to uh, to create graphic design for their own brands and stuff. Because
Yeah.
there's plenty of times where like, okay, you want to slap an Apple logo, right? Like let's take it back to the days where not AirPods, but like iPhone was a thing, and they had those silhouettes, those black silhouettes, and they were dancing with the iPhone logo, right? Or the iPod logo. Like, how hard would that be for an AI to learn? Okay, silhouette plus iPhone plus background color gets me brownie points. Okay, cool. Let me just generate thousands and thousands of those until I get it right. Um, and then you introduce machine learning into the mix, right? Where it's like, you have to teach it, right? It's like, okay, good image, bad image, good image, bad image, and then eventually it learns what's good and what's bad to the point where it just 8 out of 10 images is good. It's crazy. Like, but I can't see it winning art. I can't see that being fair.
No, I don't see it either. Only because it's a novelty. Like I could say, wow, that's pretty cool. But if I'm looking at other art, then that may not be that interesting.
Yeah,
I can see AI kind of being used as like a tool to kind of brainstorm. Like, you know, you generate this idea, you look and see, okay, this is kind of cool. Let me, then take these ideas and create my own art based off of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
AI generated music is actually pretty good from what I've heard. Have y'all heard any of it?
AI
No,
generated. Oh no.
Let me play
no, I
this.
haven't.
Even though you send me the link to that AI one that had the music, the deal, I didn't listen to it.
Oh, okay.
What's going on, everyone? This is Howard.
Is that the rapper that was AI generated?
Oh, no, no, no. This is like actual, like, kind of like classical type of music.
Really?
Let me just share my screen real quick. Can you hear that?
Your volume is really low.
Okay. Turn this up.
Typical epic kind
Yeah,
of stuff,
sounds
like
like
cinematic.
sounds like this group called 2 Steps from Hell.
I love those people.
Yeah,
They got some good stuff.
when I want to focus in on something, like lifting weights, it's always pretty good. When you don't want any lyrics, you just want like to feel like a, I don't know, you're in Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah. They get the choir stuff mixed with like the orchestral. Problem is, I get a sense of satisfaction from actually making music. You know, if something else is going to make it for me, I can't really say I created this.
Yeah. Yeah, you just
What kind
plug
of
in.
music do you make? Like, what genre? What's your genre?
I play guitar. I sight read music and classical guitar. So, like, I do that kind of. I could do like rock and roll and heavy metal also. I've been playing
Nice.
for almost 30 years now.
You have any tracks like on your computer?
No,
Oh, okay.
I have a YouTube channel, but so I stopped playing until 3 years ago. So when I first got back into playing, I made a bunch of YouTube videos. I wasn't that good. Now I'm actually pretty good. I haven't made a video in about 2 years, so I should go do that.
Yeah, man, shorts are like blowing up right now. I think a lot of people are like really taking to the whole shorter medium.
Yeah,
Like driving like shorts to drive people to actually watch content that they probably wouldn't have ever interacted with.
Yeah, I think like with YouTube Shorts, the reason for that is it just automatically brings it to you. You know, you don't have to go look for it. It just dumps it. You know, if you just sit there and watch them back to back.
do you do like photography or videography or anything like that?
Do I like it or
Do you do it?
not too much?
I I do. So I found so for my iPhone, I have these. Where are you? I have these lenses. So what you do, you have a special phone case,
Mm.
and you just bolt them on like so, and then I got it in the wrong one. And then what happens is you could do like wide lens or macro, or in this particular case, I got an anamorphic. Anamorphic, so it's like really wide for like cinematic and everything. And then I got these. I just got them. Another. I don't have the attachment for it, but you put it over like so, and on your iPhone, you could literally make a video that looks like it's a Hollywood blockbuster in the style of what you see on the screen.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Might have to like. I don't know if the ZV-1 you can experiment with like different lenses and stuff, but
I think you can. Yeah, I mean most digital. Well, let me not speak out of my butt here, but I'm hopeful that you can experiment with accessories and stuff, different lenses at least. And if not, then it is what it is.
yeah, good
Uh,
for what it is, vlogging type of camera.
yeah, but when I first was like before I got the ZV-1, what is it? My coworkers at my old job were like, "You've got an iPhone. You could just shoot all your video using your iPhone. You don't need a whole nother camera for it." Um, and he was showing me some videos that he shot with his iPhone, and it's amazing. The quality and everything else, like you really could shoot, uh, you know, vlog. I mean, not just vlogs and stuff, but like Sean was saying, like if you wanted to like do like home movies and product like high quality um video and stuff, you could. I mean, it won't be like a DSLR, but like you'll it's pretty for a phone. It's good. It's good
It's
stuff.
really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Like whenever I try filming stuff on my phone, it never really comes out like quite as good as I
yeah.
see on like these different channels. Maybe I'm just not using the right setting. I use it for TikTok, and it just doesn't look that good to me.
I think there's a bunch of settings and stuff that you have to do, especially when it comes to cameras like the ones that we're using now. It's like I just turn it on and it records my face or half my face or whatever, and it does what it does. But I'm sure there's like specs and settings that could be optimized and with anything, right? Where it's like you make it you want like real good quality. There's probably settings and like that are more optimal for everything.
I love making videos and recording stuff. I can't show you, but I have a home recording studio for music here.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Do you use like sound padding too? Or I don't know if you have like neighbors or anything, but
No, because I don't run into the room. I run through. I just run direct into the equipment.
mm,
When I do, like when I play classical guitar, I
yeah.
actually like the acoustics of this room a lot. I don't have to do anything to make it sound alive because I
Mm,
got the revert. Because I have a rug and there's a sweet spot in here where it sounds like it came from a studio
nice.
versus all that echo that is too overbearing.
Right.
Like that's all like professional equipment, right? Like kind of like what they were having a recording studio.
Yeah,
Have you ever thought about like renting, like recording? Like letting people come in and record for X amount of dollars, like renting out the studio.
I don't do mastering and mixing.
Mm,
I have to farm that out to somebody. Like I could do it, but as time go, I'm getting old. I'm 46, and my ears, I can't hear the frequencies that I could hear 10 years ago.
mm,
So what sounds good to me is mixed for that ear. Then I pass it off to somebody like, dude, that sounds so muffled. So I got to hand it off to somebody who's got an ear.
Are you kind of like sensitive to high frequencies?
No, there's just a mid where it starts to get muffled,
mm,
Mm,
and I have to add that in so it sounds good to me, but it won't sound good to you.
mm.
mm.
Yeah, I'm trying to step up you know, the videography and graphics and all that stuff for the channel. I think it looks way better than it used to. Like, I really need to create thumbnails for a lot of the older videos. They look terrible.
I see YouTube channels that have like 2 million subscribers. And if I go back like a year or two and I look at their older videos, there won't even be like 1,000 views. It's almost like somebody will see their video, but no one will go through their history and look at videos.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's- it seems like people have been kind of going through some of our old videos and watching them. Let me pull it up because you remember, Terrence, we used to have like zero views on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I'm not like. I just put it out there. I put the content out there, and if people watch it, they watch it. I'll. For me, getting better is just like speaking about like speaking and getting better at speaking and just having the conversation and having guests on and talking with them and uh so for me it's like I get what I want out of it. I'm not looking for like the views.
You remember this was our first interview.
That was our first interview. Yeah, 17 views 7 months ago.
What I'm finding is like stuff that shows our face actually has like views, but if it's just like a generic looking thing like this, like it doesn't really motivate anybody to click on it. Like create your first web page, 2 views. Wow, we
Yeah.
actually got 56 views off of this. Cheating during virtual interviews.
It probably helps if the topic is in the thumbnail because people,
Mhm.
even I don't even read the text. Like
Yeah.
when I browse through all my stuff, I I browse with my eyes, and that happens
Hmm.
to be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I wonder why this one got like no views.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it gets no views.
freestyle is probably, I don't know, top.
Yeah,
Looks like all the freestyle ones have pretty much no views. Like,
Yeah, because there's no topic in the title.
yeah,
It's just
hmm
a random. I mean, you could probably go back and retroactively add a title, but yeah, if you just throw it up
hmm
there and say freestyle whatever, it's not gonna get a title. I
yeah.
mean, it's not gonna get views.
I think that was kind of like when we were just like wanting to hop on just to be consistent. Like, oh, I can't think of a title. Let's just do
Yeah,
Freestyle Friday.
yeah.
So
they
some of
keep
these,
turning my AC off. I have to keep I have to keep going in and turning it back on. It's getting to be really hot in here.
Yeah,
yeah, I
they.
heard like
I don't know if you're getting
California's
those notice,
I
but
am.
yeah, where they say you gotta conserve energy from 4 to 9 or something, like after 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except in my case, they have the ability to shut it off, and it seems like they are.
Oh damn, that sucks.
yeah. I actually heard. I seen a story where like somebody had one of those smart thermostats, and they said like you're locked out. You can't change the temperature.
I can't
What?
imagine that. At least I can change mine, but that would be hell on earth. 100 degrees inside, and I can't touch my thermal.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'd
good.
be rewiring it at that point.
Install an Arduino and just work around it.
I mean, AC thermostats are super easy to install. There's just 4 pins. But
Mm, dang.
yeah, I'd be working around it.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I've seen certain parts of California is getting like 116-degree temperature.
yeah. My my coworker said it was 120 in
Where at?
I think it was in San Jose.
Really?
Well, I could be wrong. 102, 120. It was 100. That's for sure. I don't even bother looking at the weather anymore. I just look outside. I'm like, okay, it's hot.
Y'all are kind of getting the weather that we had. It was like
Yeah, I'm in
90
the
degrees.
I'm in the 80s over here. I'm not even knowing what 90 is like yet.
85 right now.
Dallas has actually been getting flooded out. Like we had like 2 months of 100-degree weather straight, and then just like complete flood and like tons of rain.
Dang.
Like you just see portions of the city underwater.
Send
That's
some of
just
that water
crazy.
our way.
Oh yeah, Sean, I don't think I showed you this.
Oh, you got a shirt.
Yeah, yeah. One of them finally came in. What do you
That
think?
is really cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I have to get y'all some. You know what I mean?
Are you able to feed that video of the guitar link I sent you into this?
Yeah, yeah. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah,
I didn't know if you wanted me to
I
pull
don't
it
think
up.
it's a bad song.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
That's kind of where I'm at on my sight reading ability.
How long did it take you to get decent at playing guitar?
Sight reading. So I had been playing for about 26 years when I started sight reading, and it literally put me back to day zero. Like literally, I had nothing to like. It was just like starting all over again. So to get to
Mm.
this point of playing, it was just under a year. mess up on that one?
Yeah, I think you had a little error there.
I could have chose a different video, then I have better ones. But
Yeah, better than anything I can do. I'm terrible at these guys.
it's not an easy song to play though at all. I'm only paying 3 minutes, two or 3 minutes here, but it's really like a 15-minute song. But yeah,
Nice.
that's sort of, so that was 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week for about 6 months. And
Nice.
even though I could play like an electric, you know, like Megadeth and Metallica style stuff, picking up that classical, it
Mhm.
made me an absolute beginner in every way imaginable.
Hmm.
What were some of the challenges of playing like classical? I guess
One of it is the technique has to be perfect. The instructor that I had, the classical teacher, from the very first minute when he interviewed me to see if he would take me as a student, because those people, you don't waste their time. You pay them $300 an hour and you just don't waste their time or they'll drop you.
Whoa.
And so he's like, he puts this music in front of me and he's like, play. And I'm like, I don't read music. And so we started, and he gives me a metronome, and I'm looking at the notes, just open strings, just where any beginner would start anywhere. And he's like, posture, fingers, position, technique, timing, breathing. Like I had to bring it all together from the very first time I plucked a string. And so I had to spend months just dealing with my posture, my hand, my position, my technique, my breathing, my timing. And it finally came together. I would get so frustrated. I'm like, why am I paying $300 for this? I'm not seeing progress. But then one day, I picked up a music book that wasn't one that he gave me. And I just wanted to have fun and not like worry about someone breathing over my shoulder. And they grade in levels 0 through 10. 0 is like beginner. Level 1 is like simple songs. Level 10 is like Beethoven's, you know, some symphony level playing, right?
Yeah.
I picked up a level 1 book and a 2, and I played it perfectly. I never saw the music before, never heard it. I played it perfectly. And I was with somebody at the time who had a degree in music. She was a singer, and she sings in a women's choir. And she saw my progression from the first, before I took the lesson, until like 6 months later when I picked up that book. And she's like, you learn fast, but I'm feeling like I learn slow. So I went back to the guitar teacher. I said, listen, I'm just going to break up this book and you tell me what to play and I'll just play it. And he said in his 40 years of teaching, he can count on his hand 5 people that could perfectly play a piece of music the first time they see it, and I would be the number 5th. And I'm like, well, I mean, I thought that was the point, you know? And he's like, that's not really the point. You read music to learn how to play the piece, but you don't, it's not expected you're going to never see it before and play it. I'm like, well, I thought that was expected, so I practiced it that way. And I achieved it. Now, at a higher level, like the music that you saw there would be like a level 6 or a level 7. I didn't sight read that and play it at first play. That goes beyond my my play at first sight ability. But I was able to pick it up within an hour. So it's not that far out of my ability.
What about like creating music? Are you do you do that?
Yeah, I got a few songs. I got a few songs on that channel.
Okay.
But yeah, I could do that. They're probably unlisted though. But if you want to see one, I can pull one up.
Sure.
All right, let me dig.
Yeah, I have like zero musical talent, man. It's just something I wasn't given, a gift I wasn't given. I'm actually like decent at art, like painting, but I just didn't stick with it because I'm not creative. So if I see a picture or something, I can like paint it really good, but as far as creating something out of my head, not too good at that. What about you, Terrence? You got any like talents besides
Um,
coding?
I wouldn't even call coding a talent. Um, I used to play piano a little bit. Had a really bad rehearsal experience. Not really performance. Yeah, I got really frustrated at myself and started cussing up a storm in front of like a whole crowd of people, or auditorium full of like parents and stuff. So I never touched the piano again. Um, um, but I do play the piano. I want to get back into it. I think it's been 20 years. I think it's time to get back into the to the swing of things. Um,
Like, you ever wonder, like, man, if I would have stuck with this for like, the whole time, how good would I have been?
yeah, I a little bit, yeah, yeah. It's more of yeah. I can see that. It's like, man, how good would I be if I just stuck with it? Hmm. I don't think I have any like talent. I haven't really tried anything besides coding, the
So you're
piano.
not even drawing or anything.
I'm not a good drawer though. I wanted to be a cartoonist a long time ago.
Would be totally dope.
I wanted to draw cartoons, but I didn't really have the talent for it. And then I wanted to write, and then I wrote like a bunch of like fan fiction, and that didn't really take off anywhere. Probably all those notebooks somewhere. Um, mm,
I don't know
yeah,
if that one I sent you, that link is your style. Like it's an 8-minute song, so you probably just want to do it for like a minute or so. But that's just
Okay.
me randomly messing around.
Let's see.
Sorry, Terrence. I didn't mean to interrupt.
no. Go ahead. I wasn't going anywhere with it. Curious what the song is.
This is just me messing around, not really doing anything. Like ear training.
Let's see.
Where's the video, man?
Okay.
I can hear it.
Ooh.
Ooh, hit the wrong note. It just goes on for 8 minutes like this.
Good, man. Like,
This reminds me of
I think, yeah, you actually did like really good with the improv. You know what I mean? I think that's like your thing right here.
For sure. Like I'll pull up random videos on YouTube that have the background music like that. and then I'll just see how if I can groove with it or not. So that was actually the first time I heard that. I hit play like 15 seconds before it started, and I just ran with it.
Nice.
Yeah, man. You should definitely get back into it, man.
So I had a back injury last year for 7 months. I
Mm.
couldn't sit, stand, or walk. Like I was literally in bed for 23 and a half hours a day for 7 days a week for 7
Oh
months.
my gosh.
And I'll show you. This will really blow your mind away. My spine started to go crooked. I was walking sideways, and I had never experienced so much pain in my life. But that was my spine, me standing straight. See how crooked the spine is?
Wow. Yeah.
And so during that time, I just stopped playing guitar. And then I finally decided to pick it up about four weeks ago. But I have like 15 guitars right there, but they all need to be restrung. I couldn't get them in tune. That means that they just need to be restrung. And in particular, I wanted to play that classical guitar, but I just am not in the mood to restring the classical to nylon. It's just it takes so long. So for that reason, I haven't picked up, like, to be honest with you, I'd rather just buy a new guitar and have it strung and ready to go than to restring it myself.
Mm.
But maybe in the next couple of weeks or something, I'll do it.
How much do does it like a new guitar usually run for about 200 or like the one that you would be interested in?
I wish. The kinds of guitars that I buy, they're for a low end one, they're about $1,500. For a high end one, so one that I feel like I could be happy with, they run about $2,200.
That's nice.
That's an expensive hobby.
Well, I mean, the $200 or $300 ones, my ear, most of them. I mean, every guitar is different.
Yeah.
There might be that one out there that will sound good and feel good.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot of work I'll have to put into it. And the more you pay, the less work. Like they use higher quality materials. So
right.
like if I got a $200 guitar and I wanted it to be where my ear and my playing and my preferences are, I'd probably put about $1,000, $1,200 into it, or I could just buy it for $1,200, $1,400 and it's already done.
I see what you're saying. It's like pay for it now or pay for it later. You might as well just invest in it now.
I have one guitar. It's my favorite guitar, and I hate it. I don't play it, but I bought it. It was the first guitar I bought that I still have, and like it's probably goes back to 1999. But it sounds good alone. But when I put it against any other instrument, even though it's in the right pitch and everything, it just sounds horrid. And I put $1,000 worth of equipment, gear, and like luthier upgrades into it, and it still sounds like crap. So it's just one of those good things that particular guitar, there's nothing I can do. It's like you walk into an outhouse and spray roses, like you're not going to be smelling roses. It's the same thing with that guitar.
Yeah.
But I have a sentimental attachment to it.
You say you have about like 15 to 20 guitars?
I have about 15.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I have a video on there where I was practicing a technique called sweep picking. It's like a 4-minute video or something. But I got like 30-second clips of every day for 30 days where I was practicing and improving from sound like crap, don't know what I'm doing, to after 30 days, it actually sounds really good. And there's a different guitar in every video. So every day I picked up a different guitar.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I didn't do it for 30. I did it about once every 3 days, checking in on my progress. I watched that video. I'm like, man, I have a lot of guitars.
Like, how do you have them like stored? Is it in the cases, or you kind of like have them like sitting out on a rack or something?
The really expensive guitars are in a case, and the other ones that if I needed to replace, I could. Those ones are not in a case. I'm actually thinking about just selling all my guitars and keeping only 2 of them, the classical and a steel string one that I've played a lot of acoustic guitars in my life, hundreds, if not thousands. And this particular one, I bought sight unseen on the internet from a luthier that just happened to make one that looked beautiful to me. And I didn't know what I was going to get. Like a $2,000 guitar. He's like, today only $600. I'm like, I'll take it. I didn't know what I was going to get, but it's just beautiful. And if nothing else, I could take an Instagram photo with me of a beautiful guitar. I don't have to play it. And anyone that has ever heard it will agree that there is not a guitar in the world that sounds like it. It literally, like sometimes you'll watch a video and they'll be in like a giant cathedral and you'll hear them playing and it has that cathedral kind of feel to it. Well, this guitar, it sounds like I took the cathedral with me everywhere. Every time I touch it, it sounds like the cathedral is just oozing out of it. Nice. And there's no other guitar I've ever heard that sounds like that. I will never get rid of it. I don't personally think it's replaceable. His guitars don't sound like that. There is just a manufacturing quirk that makes it like that.
Think you regret it if you sell your other guitars?
No, because along with it, like I could buy a brand new car in cash for the amount of money that I paid for all of the studio and recording and sound equipment and everything. I can't take any of that with me anywhere. And so I was thinking about just selling it off, and like the acoustic, I could just pick it up and take it anywhere. Keep a couple devices for interfacing it into my laptop to record. But everything else, I would feel better if I just like I prefer to sight read and play than I do to, like I used to play Megadeth. Like I don't know if you're into that kind of heavy metal music or not, that really fast, heavy stuff like Metallica. I used to play that stuff and love it, but after I started learning how to sight read and everything, my musical taste have drastically changed.
Like, what are some guitars that you follow now? Like, who are you into?
Oh, I still follow them, but there's people on LinkedIn that play classical, or they play like with orchestras, or they do their home recordings of these epics, like that AI thing, and then they mix their guitar into it, and some of it is actually pretty cool. But mostly my tastes, and except for like my spiritual stuff, my tastes in music have always revolved around, if I wanted to play it on guitar, then I would listen to it, and then I would try to learn how to play it on guitar.
Have you heard of Lee Kyung-won? That dude's pretty good.
I have not.
Let me just play something of his.
Most of the ones I follow now are Instagram, so they just scroll by my feed. The unfortunate thing is I can't just download or link the video. Like it just kind of disappears.
You said there's a lot of guitarists on LinkedIn too?
Not if I said LinkedIn, I meant Instagram.
Okay.
Although there is one guitarist who I just love his music, and I bought his music books almost 20 years ago, and I don't know how, but somehow he ended up connecting to me on LinkedIn, and we're friends.
Nice.
Like I wouldn't be on his radar, so I don't know how that happened, but he friended me.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, I kind of want to expand my LinkedIn network to more than just coding. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
It's difficult.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah. You know what's really cool about the guitar is there was a couple places where he played the same note sequences that I did. I'm like, holy crap, that video I just showed you, it's got the same runs, but it sounds so completely different.
Yeah.
What about drums? Have you played the drums before?
No.
I was about to say, dang, he does
Really,
the
man?
podcast at the drum set.
No,
Might have to get you
percussion,
to
not my
compose.
thing.
Might have to get you to compose an intro song for the podcast.
I could probably do that. I got a few little jingles I can repurpose.
That'd be cool.
Actually, pretty cool.
I like blues. I am definitely. I don't listen to jazz. I certainly don't enjoy playing it. I don't know why. It's just hard for my heart to get into it. But I have heard some people do it, mostly when they got that some singing that goes along with jazz undertones. It's just amazing. So from a what gets me motivated and gets those juices flowing, it's mostly going to be blues and like epic stuff. And classical certainly doesn't do it from a listening perspective, but it does from a practice and showing off. I can do Beethoven's Fifth, but other than that, like rock and roll, heavy metal, like anything that's got a lot of speed, like
Like Dragon Force.
that anger kind of stuff. I just totally like it. Just gets stuff out of me that needs to come out.
Like power metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You listen to Dragon Force?
Herman Lee, like that guy could make Mario speak to those strings.
What about that Japanese rock, J rock?
J rock and J pop or K pop.
Oh, no, yeah, completely different.
I don't know
Japanese rock.
about the J rock genre.
Aren't you into that, Terrence?
I used to be. I haven't recently listened to anybody. I mean, besides, do I consider them Japanese? I mean, they're based out of Japan. There's a band that I like called Cold Rain. They're pretty good. But all the songs are in English, which is really interesting. The lead singer sings in English, but they're all based out of some part of Japan. But they're really good, and yeah, I listen to a lot of these days not so much, but like growing up, I used to like a lot of Disturbed, Metallica, Linkin Park, um, AC/DC, Dragon Force, Master Plan, whatever spin-off band that Master Plan had, Royale, not Roy, is it Royale? Whatever the singer is for, let's see, Master Ray.
I didn't listen to Linkin Park back in the day, but in recent years, some of their stuff is floated by my YouTube feed. It's like, man, I don't know how I just did not resonate with them way back when, but now I realizing those people had some talent.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Like, a lot of people kind of hated on them. Like it's just one of those things where sometimes people just hate on it and you just decide not to listen to it.
Just because it's
But you're
popular.
actually really talented, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like that with grunge back in high school when Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and so on came out. It was like, ew, never. But I listened to them now and I was like, man, those people are amazing.
Yeah, you don't really appreciate it until you try to do it yourself. It's like, wow, how are they this good?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, what are y'all listening to now? Like, what are y'all like really into? Like,
Um, I'm into a lot more rap than I was growing up. Um, recently picked up Kendrick's new album. It's probably my last album that I picked up, and I listen to a lot of like I don't know, some YouTube channel called Cafe Jazz Music, and he has it's just a bunch of compilations of like uh, jazz music. I'll link it in the chat, but it's I don't know. Growing up, I never listened to jazz, and I wasn't into that stuff, and I don't know where it came from. And I started studying algorithms, and boom, I realized that they clicked for whatever reason. And
Jazz is very mathematical.
yeah, I guess so. I
Like, are
guess
you talking about
so.
like kind of like the really old school jazz, or more like the fusion,
No,
funk?
it's not. Let me see.
I feel like Terrence would be listening to soulful jazz.
I like fusion. I can't listen to regular jazz. Though. It's like too slow and kind of dreary sounding to me.
No, it's
As long as it's got a sax, that's good.
Saxophone. What about like fusion? Do y'all listen to fusion? Like let's see, kind of like that '70s, early '80s, that style of jazz.
Do you know what I really started listening to recently? I don't know what genre of music it is, but every now and again, you know, if you watch a YouTube video of somebody doing like a robot dance, they got that mechanical sounding music in the background. I find a lot of that to be mesmerizing, but I don't know what kind of music that is.
Like kind of like that electronic funk.
A little bit, but every time I search on that, nothing comes up that I have in mind.
Are they doing like break dancing, that kind of stuff, like hip hop ish?
It's like robot music, robot dance music, or something like that. I honestly don't know how to classify. I wish I did, because when I search for it, I never find anything. I just have to, you know, get lucky with the video.
Let me see. Let me see if this is kind of like what you're talking about.
oh, that's old school.
Switch it. Is that kind of like what you're talking about?
Not quite. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see if I could find one. I don't like have these things bookmarked or anything. I should. Whoa, where'd he go?
I don't know.
For some reason, my
Oh,
face is just like frozen. can, can y'all see me?
yeah, but you're frozen.
Okay. Yeah, let me come back out and come back in.
All right, I found one. Doing any interesting coding?
Hmm?
You doing any
Oh,
interesting
me?
coding?
A lot of unit
Mhm.
testing, and uh, yeah, nothing besides that. Yeah, that's probably been the most interesting so far. Just like building out React components and then like unit testing against them, but not just like check if this exists, like actually mocking up like the API calls. Like I've never done that before, so a lot of that's been new for me. And like a lot of working with other teams. That's definitely been new. I'm used to just being the only team, or a part of the only team, and so talking with like the back end team and making sure that everything, like getting understanding of their API from them. That's been a lot of work for me these past couple of days. Of just being like, somebody explain to me like what this API is. Like we can hit it, sure, we can get the data, sure, but like I don't know what any of this, what these keys mean. Like there's no documentation, and somebody has to explain this. So yeah, just trying to get some explanation on that. Oh, he can't join. Let me. Will it let you? Hold on. Send that. Yeah. But besides that, yeah, that's been it for the most part. Yeah, the whole waking up early thing is kind of come and gone. Now it's like, okay, 6 a.m. Here we go. Yeah, and I was like telling Kevin, says the host can't let me in.
How do you kill the feed? I don't even.
Uh-oh.
Did you just drop me?
No, I didn't. Oh,
I
you're back
started
now.
doing. There you are, man. I started doing data structures and algorithms in SQL.
Nice. I didn't even know that was. Well, I mean, I guess it's possible.
I didn't until I had to do it. I'm like, who would do this? But we actually have a legitimate need.
That's cool. Are you gonna save any of that as like? Because I know SQL can save. What do they call it? Procedures. Like
Stored
once you do
procedures.
something, yeah, you can like do something once and then just like save it as a function or something.
Yeah, it's called a stored procedure. It's like a function, but for SQL, you just call it and it executes the query.
Nice. Yeah.
We have to aggregate data based on trees, and so you have to walk the tree.
Oh,
like,
wow.
whoa, that's like hardcore, masochist level SQL there. Not for a double pun, but
it takes a long time to run, isn't it?
No, it takes a long time to write.
You remember we were talking about like doing a series like back end teaches front end and front end teaches back end. I think that would be interesting to try sometime, because I've been wanting to get more into the back end, and I know you probably want to get more into the front end.
Can you lower your volume just a tad?
Yeah. Let's see. It's like really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my thing is kind of acting up. Let's see.
It's hard for me. If I had a way to show you, I have like 7 different volumes to play with. Never know which one will get my volume to be really loud or low.
Yeah, there's like so many options for things these days. It's hard to just quickly find what you need.
Are you using a Windows or a Mac?
Windows.
Mac has a cool utility called Loopback, and it allows you to control all of your audio and inputs and outputs and join them together. And that's how I get my master level metering.
That's cool.
How about now? Is this like a little bit better? I'll turn it down like half.
Just a tad less.
Okay.
I don't know how my volume is sounding to Terrence's.
Well, I kind of have you guys low, but it's fine. Like,
Yeah,
Sean is
I
fine,
have mine about half.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect.
So it's good now? still a little loud?
Still a tad loud.
Are you using the speaker on the? You're using the microphone on the laptop?
The ZV1.
Hmm.
How about now? Like is it better?
Okay.
That's
There you go.
lower. Yeah.
There you go.
Here we go. But yeah, yeah, I think that would be interesting. I know, like you had a post about SQL that like recently blew up.
Yeah, I got like almost 60,000 views and 100 and
Wow.
something likes, and added like, I don't even know how many hundreds of followers, just that one post. Because I was down to no activity for like the last 3 weeks. So all my stats kind of went back down to zero. And then I made that post, and then my chart just went.
I wonder
whoa.
if it's kind of like when you make your first account on like social media, and it puts you into the algorithm, like it forces you in the front of everybody's screens. I wonder if somebody should do an experiment where if you don't have any activity for a while and then you post, does it always blow up like that?
I think I
can't.
just got edgy. Like I was talking about doing algorithms with SQL. I think a lot of people didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they were just like, this guy's onto something.
Yeah, I can never figure out the algorithm. Like, just random stuff blows up. Like the stuff you think is like deep or good, it's like 5 likes, but you just post something.
10 views.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, every time I post something when I'm frustrated, and I never thought I'd find myself writing data structures and algorithms in SQL, but here I am writing data structure, and I was frustrated as heck because I'm under the gun to get that stuff done, and it's impossible. It's like even those 12 words, the frustration is just like a magnet for people.
I think because people can relate. Like you got to post stuff that's relatable, not like today I was on my way to work and I saved a dog from getting taken away, and I helped an old lady across the street, and then I made it on time, but then I forgot my pants. Like, you know, I don't know if you ever seen posts like that. Not like that specifically, but there's definitely like posts that are just like, why is this on LinkedIn? I don't understand.
Like, you remember Dan from Gravity Payments? Like he kind of like disappeared into the netherworld. You know.
Yeah, well, he didn't just disappear. I mean, he got vortexed. Like
Yeah.
a number of people filed a sexual harassment case
Wait, what?
against him.
Who
Yeah,
are we
Dan
talking about?
Price. You know Dan Price, that guy who everyone gets paid a minimum $70,000 a year.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Well, he not that many people like he got a massive following, and he posts all these things that are anti-corporate, anti-establishment, but they make sense.
Yeah.
They're very like it's like, I mean, it's some good stuff, even though I'm not that progressive, but it's like totally. And a couple of weeks ago, he just disappeared, and it turns out that a couple people that work under him filed sexual harassment lawsuits against him, or accusations, one or the other, and he immediately stepped down and
the dude
being
who
the CEO.
ran WeWork or Twitter. Oh, Gravity Payments.
Gravity.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think it could have been like maybe a coordinated hit job? Because you remember that, once Elon was trying to buy Twitter, like all of a sudden all this bad stuff came out about him or whatever. And
honestly, I have no inside information, and if there's women out there that are saying that he assaulted them, I'm in no position to say whether or not it happened or didn't.
Yeah.
So we got to do our due diligence, like be fair to him and
for
give
sure.
it, But I guess we also have to be fair to the women and invest. Let the investigation come out. Sometimes it's kind of unfair to the guys. Like if they just get accused, they're kind of just bashed into the netherworld. But the evidence really has to point out to validate everything before we start destroying his reputation.
Yeah. I honestly don't know one way or the other, but now he's in the thick of it, and he's going to have to deal with it. And if he did something, he needs to pay for it.
Wow.
Exactly. Now, what about the crying CEO dude? Do y'all see him anymore?
No, but now I see a lot of selfies. It's
Yeah,
like
I see a ton of
it's like he normalized people doing a lot more selfies than usual. And I don't mean the satire self, just like it's starting to look like Facebook.
Exactly. That's what I said. Like everybody has on like their best outfit, you know, just taking a picture of themselves. It's kind of crazy. Do you think you could do that? Like, are you ever gonna get into the little selfie thing?
No.
No, not unless there's like something to showcase. Then that's one thing. But for the sake of eye candy, I mean, I'm not that much to look at, so there's no.
No, it's the guitars. You got to emphasize the guitars. Like, just
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how that would go. Like, I've posted guitar videos on LinkedIn before and ended up with like 1 view.
People usually like the personal stuff, well, like babies and dogs and talents,
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I cannot figure out the algorithm. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna catch.
I don't think it's meant to be figured out because it doesn't work. I don't think it really works like YouTube, does it? Where like, I mean, it's all based on your network and then those people's networks, right? It's not like somebody could search something unless you're looking for somebody specifically, right?
I
Or am
think
wrong?
LinkedIn is one of those things. I've noticed on the posts where I get a lot of traction, or a lot of like involvement, the impressions, whatever the word you want to use.
Mhm.
It usually happens after somebody who's super notable interacts with it in some way. So I think what happens is, if somebody has like 200,000 followers and they interact with
Mhm.
you, then some small sampling of them will see that they interacted with you, and then they might interact with you.
Right.
So I've noticed that, my last post is no different. There's a number of people in there that just have massive followings, and it's like somehow I got exposed into their network through their interaction.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's like you almost have to get like a handout from somebody who's already there, kind of like gatekeeping almost. Like this big following person reaches down and says, "Okay, yeah, let them in." Kind of like even with this channel, once we got Kyle Simpson on, that kind of like really opened up floodgates to an extent. Do y'all feel like the internet, like maybe like 10 years ago, had like a little less gatekeeping? Like you could see more random like people and stuff just pop up?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there were algorithms as such back then. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't until about 2013 or 15, somewhere in that range, where they started picking up on like wanting to show you more of what you interact with. And I mean, God forbid you would make one action with something you don't really want to interact, because it'll overrun your whole feed. But especially if that's what everyone else is interacting with. But I think before that, it was a lot more random and balanced, because there was nothing trying to wait. There was nothing trying to predict what you'll like and then getting it wrong.
Yep.
And what's crazy is I don't really like the stuff it's recommended. I'm like, I don't really feel like watching it. I'm just scrolling. Whereas before, it's like, wow, I've never seen this before. It's interesting. Let me click this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you almost have to cruise on incognito mode or something, delete your cookies or something.
Delete your history. At least on YouTube, you just delete your history. I don't get any politics anymore. Sometimes, Joe Biden with a red background, getting all Star Wars Galactic Empire, he will show up because everybody's talking about it. But I would never even have noticed, because I just don't like the way I run my life right now. I had to completely shut politics off in order to have any peace.
Right. Yeah, it's just pointless. You know what I mean? Like you can't do anything about it. Like Joe Biden wants to do this, or the Senate and all of that, they want to do that. you just got, all you can do is just react and be mad if they don't do
Yeah.
what you want.
They're going to do what they want. Now, on a personal level, I do what I can to make everyone's life easier through my interactions with them and so on. But in terms of how I live my life, I mean, like now I've got it where none of that stuff at all shows up on my feeds. And if I see something, I quickly move it off the screen in case it's counting screen time.
Exactly. Like like mainstream politics it's not even a debate really. It's just guys like slamming talking points at each other. And like you can almost predict what these, what such and such is gonna say. Like they already have their predefined positions and
Yeah.
they're gonna they're just gonna regurgitate it over and over. Like everything that on the other side is automatically bad. You know what I mean? Like Republicans detest Joe Biden, Democrats detest Trump. It's like there's no intellectual, there's like no nuance. It's just
Pure division.
decide. Exactly. Like you have to be wholly in this box or wholly in that box. Like,
and I hate division. I much prefer like the people that are in my life, they're all over the spectrum. And I feel like life is a lot more interesting. Have your disagreements, but enjoy each other. Have a beer, catch a fish.
Right.
Listen to some jazz. Like I may not like jazz, but I'm sure if I were in the car with Terrence, maybe he has good taste in good jazz. It's like I prefer not to be in a bubble at all. So I'm constantly keeping myself out of it in order to enjoy everything that's different rather than keep everything that's the same.
I think that's kind of like why the internet's been getting kind of dull to me because like every site wants to, feed you what more of what, it already thinks you consume. Is just like, okay, your programmer guy, here's 50 nonstop programming videos. Like maybe I just want to see, somebody all the way across the world cooking or something, but I just don't see that.
Yeah, you've got to change it. And then changing that algorithm, it's going to confuse it. It's like, wait, you like I came with your daily full course meal of programming. Like, what do you mean you want to learn Korean now? It's like, okay, I'll start curating you to learn Korean. But you'll always have that other stuff in the background still. Yeah.
I think that counts screen time, like YouTube. I've had videos that were on one of my screens for days, and I just never touched it, but I never viewed it either. And all of a sudden, when I closed it, I come back, all that kind of stuff was in my feed. And it's like it must be counting screen time, even if it's not interacted with.
It'd be interesting, like potential business ideas, like creating a site where it's like a wrapper around YouTube where the videos are weighed in a different manner. Like, I don't know, maybe community suggested or something, like just a way for you to be able to see something that, that's outside of your bubble.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, that might fly. I could see that jumping off. But I also think that like a lot of people, I think we're in the minority probably when talking about this, where it's like how many people go on their feeds and are just okay with seeing the same stuff, right? that they always see, like how many people are actually going out of their way to see something different, to be exposed to something different, like I just think that very few people are actually willing to put themselves into a position where it's like, okay, I'm going to see something that might be uncomfortable, but I'm okay with it.
It's kind of interesting is I haven't really seen like any like new memes lately like that. You remember like back in the early like 2010s and all that, you seen all kinds like, I'm Juggernaut and all of that.
Yeah. Well, because all that's on TikTok now. That's like I mean, well, in my opinion, that's where I think everything's coming from nowadays. Like all the trends, all of the challenges and whatnot is like all that's on short form content. It's no longer a meme. It's just I don't think we're in that era of memes anymore.
Yeah, I think TikTok is kind of like what YouTube used to be, like more on the homegrown content instead of like professionals. Almost like YouTube almost requires you to be professional. Is just gonna lock your content away. Like if your thumbnails suck, if your titles aren't perfect, you know, you're
I
just
don't
not
know.
gonna get any views.
I don't know about that. I think the way that YouTube is going now is it's following TikTok, where they've implemented shorts and they're going all in on shorts. So like because the way that people are consuming content nowadays, and I'm guilty of this as well, is like short form content is so easily not even easily digestible. Maybe I'll say this: it's easy in the way that I can have it in front of my face and take it in even if I don't watch it. It could be 10 seconds long, and I might not be interested in a funny cat video, right? But the video is so short that by the time I feel like swiping away from it, I've already viewed it. The screen time is already there.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between scrolling through a feed or scrolling through search results to find something to click on, in that time, I could have watched 3 shorts, right? So I just think that we're all going, or media is going towards this like short form content. Like,
I don't actually interact with short form anymore at all. Like some of those, I'm not on TikTok, surprisingly, but I'll see TikTok videos and some of them are pretty well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of short form maybe, but a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that I've been seeing lately, it's like that there's 4 seconds of my life I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How many more dance videos do we need to see? You know.
Right. Exactly.
Although I saw a hilarious one just a couple days ago. I thought it was just hilarious. It was a video of a like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old girl. I could show you if you want to see it, but I'm allowed to share, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
share screen. It is the cutest. I'll pull it up, or I'll send you a link. I don't want to. I have like so many screens. I don't have anything here that shouldn't be seen, but I could write software. I just can't control a screen sharing program. Oh, I can't share it to you. Okay, let me. Okay, let me do this. It is the coolest. Okay, so share. How do I do it? Screen share works. I understand. Oh, can I share I can share a Chrome tab.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do this.
Sean will join.
Okay, here we go.
Did I just, what happened? All right, watch this. This little video is so cool. Can I zoom in? There's no sound. Oh, is it going in a loop now?
No. I don't think she's hasn't stepped on it yet. She's like,
There we go.
Okay.
Anyway, that kind of stuff I think is,
Yeah, it's moments. It's little moments like that, but it's not like yeah.
I think that's kind of like what TikTok and Instagram, you know, those are more so blowing up than YouTube because you can't see that kind of stuff on YouTube. Like
Yeah.
it gets buried, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of lose the human factor. Like you know, like I think like what attracted you to the podcast initially was like more human. It wasn't like super well produced, super slick, you know. like overly marketed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I sometimes will pull up a YouTube short. I don't know how it could be bigger than TikTok because, like, I only see a handful of TikTok videos, and they're more interesting than any of the YouTube ones I've watched.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I will say this: like, I'm not here to defend either. I don't have stake in either. I'm not defending either or. Um, but I will say that like TikTok has perfected the short. I mean, their whole platform is all shorts. They perfected the shorts game. YouTube is just
Mhm.
following the coattail to try and get that
Yeah.
same market. But Kevin and I have discussed this before. It's like you only have so much time in the day, right? So like, you know, if all these companies that are coming out with these streaming services, for example, that are coming out with these original videos and stuff, and they want more eyes and they want more users. It's like you have to realize that people only have so much time in the day. People only have if I only have X amount of dollars, and I need to pick a streaming service, I'm gonna pick the one that has the most content that I want. It's not about the original content. And to bring it back to the whole like YouTube and TikTok thing, it's like this: like YouTube is, in my opinion, like for longer form media. I go there for long form media. Like if I want to go to TikTok for short stuff that's
Mhm.
tailored to me, I'll go there for that, regardless of if YouTube has a shorts feature or not.
Yeah.
So it's
It's kind of like everything's like melting into each other. Like you remember, like Walmart is the superstore, but now you have gas stations that like Bucky's where it sells everything. So it's almost like it's a mini Walmart, and
yeah.
Walmart's adding gas stations. So it's like everything is a jack of all trades store.
Walmart has a gas station now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Well, it's not it has gas pumps, like kind of like like
Right.
Costco.
At Costco. Yeah, at Costco. Yep.
And I feel like the internet is kind of turning into that. Like YouTube is copying TikTok, and everybody's kind of like stealing ideas from each other and kind of melting into this like
Yep.
uh,
To just since they're just copying each other where you can't tell one from the other.
but with people consuming so much short form content, you think that's going to give like people like ultra HD,
Yes.
ADHD?
Yes. Yes. Like I firmly believe that I have some form, whatever it is on the spectrum of AD attention deficitness, and I'm vigorously fighting against it. Um, I've noticed like mild dyslexia. I don't know if that's just genetics or what. But I'm noticing that like when I read, I'll read a word, and if the word starts with an A and ends with an L, my brain will think of Alex, and the word could be Axel or something, and it's like,
Hmm.
why am I like I'll read out loud like turn the Alex left, and it's like, wait, hold on, that's not, and I have to reread it, and it's crazy because I've never had difficulty reading before. I've never had difficulty paying attention to something before, but now after bombarding my brain with
Mm.
with the internet for however long I've been on this thing, I do. I don't know if it's just like confirmation bias or like placebo effect or what, but I believe that I have some form of attention deficit. It's because I can't focus
Yeah.
for worth a damn. For lack of better words, I can't focus for anything. And it's like, where did that come from?
I think like TikTok is training people to crave like new mini dopamine hits every 30 seconds to a minute. Like
Yeah,
they're not
it's
getting
not healthy.
something new.
Yeah,
Like
For
they get
me,
bored.
it's a lot more because I've just always got a deadline. So my brain is constantly
it's
thinking
go
about
go 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 go.
making sure I take care of my team. If I fail, like
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that are going to be hurt by my failure as a CTO.
yeah.
So
You have a
you
lot
know,
of weight on your shoulders.
I have a lot of weight. I'm about ready to promote somebody to be a leader there. And I was telling him, it's funny you said that. I was telling him that being a leader at my seniority level is a lot like running around with a bunch of bricks in a bag on my back. But once I make you a leader, I'm taking some of those bricks out and I'm putting on your back.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
lean
so,
on
like, your accountability is going to go up.
you.
I've given you a lot of freedom. I've given you a lot of leeway. I've let you make a lot of mistakes. You become a leader under me, and you're going to find out just how quickly I hold you to a much higher standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm mentoring him to ease him into that so it doesn't catch him by surprise.
that's good. That's
Yeah, I
good.
think
Because I'm not going to treat him any different than anyone else.
Well, of
But I
course.
don't want him to just step into it and think all of a sudden Sean hates me. What is going on? So I have to put him through a process where he can, I have to slow boil it.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of that, the Brian Pulliam interview we had where he said like, going from like a software developer to a manager is kind of like trying to cross the Grand Canyon with a bike. It's like really difficult. Like it's not just because you're a good technician doesn't mean you're a good leader.
It's a different skill.
It is. It's completely different. You're managing people. Like I was there for a little bit with my last position, and not to make it about me, but this is my only form of what's what I'm looking for. It's the only way I could relate to the topic at hand. Reference point. There we go. And it's definitely different. It's a different skill set. You have to be not really, I don't want to say stern, but you do have to be like firm with your stance. Like, how's this going? What do you have any blockers? Is anything wrong? Like, and especially if like something that should have taken an hour or two is taking days, and then with remote work and everything, it's definitely a different skill set. You have to learn how to talk to people.
And you can't let your problems become theirs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Or vice versa. Yeah. Because when you lead people or you're the team, when you not babysit, but when you have people under you, there we go. You have people under you, and it's like, okay, I gave you a task. I haven't heard anything from you in a couple of days. How's it going? And you say, oh, it'll be done tomorrow. And then I come to you tomorrow, and you say, oh, it'll be done tomorrow. And it's like, okay, well, what's holding it up? Oh, nothing. Okay, so then what tomorrow is it? Is it tomorrow, or is it tomorrow next week? So
yeah, I think the two fundamental skills of a solid leader, and this is what I'm trying to teach my people first, is one, to learn your priorities, learn to align your priorities with the business. It's alignment. And two, you either manage your expectations or they'll be managed for you.
Yeah.
Those two fundamental things will make or break your experience as a leader. But if you get a person who doesn't like to manage expectations, it's going to be that, like what you just said, tomorrow. Well, why? No reason. You do that enough, and the business will lose its faith in you.
That's what's so crazy about leadership is your fate is like almost completely dependent on the people you lead. Whereas like when you're a technician, your fate is dependent on how good you are. Like, oh, okay, I'm knocking these problems out the park. Whereas like we're the leader. If the guys under you are just chilling or whatever, that's gonna get you, the heat on you. Like, why aren't your guys producing?
Yeah.
It's interesting. The person I'm promoting, everyone that's going to be on his team was a direct referral from him. So they're all his friends. So that could be good or bad, because if you're leading your friends, you're not going to want to ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
But I have a solid team. I don't think there'll be a problem there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you have a solid team already, that promoting one person, as long as they're not all looking for that same promotion, I think you'll be okay.
Like with leadership, I think interesting enough is like some of it is you, but also it's just like the people you hire. Like if you just have like a couple of hard hitters that just get things done, that makes your job like 20 times easier.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like that widget model that who was his name? John was talking about. Like every team needs a balance of somebody with tenacity and somebody with wonder and somebody with all these different traits.
Yeah.
And I've actually figured out what my two traits are, what my two nemesis are, and then I figured out where everybody is on the different teams. And now I can quickly spot when somebody doesn't have tenacity or when somebody doesn't have wonder. And when I hire somebody, how do I identify them during an interview, and how do I spot it? And I was actually thinking, you mentioned earlier today that maybe do my mentoring business again. I don't think do it as a business, just as something to help people and myself. But I've actually been wondering, you made me think, maybe I could line up a whole bunch of practice interviews to give people practice and feedback, since I have so much insight into how to help people. But it can help me also hone my skill and figure out the right way to identify some of these traits that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking like we could do like a session where we invite a junior on and we all kind of like, coach him up to an extent, like kind of let them have like a round table of getting advice from, us seniors in the industry.
Yeah. Or even go through practice interviews and point out like this is good, this is bad, work on this, like, your delivery is this. Like I think, because give them feedback that doesn't the feedback that the same way that Kevin, we would sit on a call and you would ask me questions and I would just be like state is react does yeah, we would go through all that, and then after the second or third one of those, it's like it got less and less stuttery and more fluid.
Yeah. And I think we told you to like take certain words out of your vocabulary and stop thinking like of yourself as a junior, like or as a junior, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's your vocabulary. If you talk like a senior developer, like so many people will say, yeah, my task was to do this and I met it. I completed the task. I'm like, no developer I've ever worked with, even after 6 months on a job, talks about being given a task and completing it. Like you might give the whole spiel about, completed things on time and on budget and everything, right? But if you talk like a student, they're going to treat you like a student.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the level of responsibility that you sound like you can carry, because especially like being remote, that changes the game. Like if like I don't know where either of my coworkers are throughout the day, throughout an 8-hour time period from 6 to 2. It's just, if they ping me, I think, okay, cool. But if I see that they're away, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're available. I have to figure things out on my own. And sure, I could ping somebody, but if I don't get an answer, I'm not going to sit on my hands and wait. Like I have to produce work. I have to try things. And I think that's where that's like a really big pillar of of a job is like, okay, what'd you try? Because 6 a.m. tomorrow, stand up. Okay, hey, how's ticket 1, 2, 3, 4 going? Oh, well, I texted so and so and I didn't hear a response. It's like, okay, that was 24 hours ago. Like, what'd you do in the meantime? Well, nothing. I waited.
Was kind of like what you have to be aware of in those stand-ups too, is not throwing anybody else under the bus. Like
right. Yeah.
There's no way you can't, like, your goal is to get to the root of problems, but not necessarily to expose people.
Right.
There's a book I've read called Words That Change Minds, and it gives you 13 different topics. So you could learn a communication style that exposes and helps you identify and work with people with certain kinds of behaviors. And the one you mentioned, where the people who wait for you to tell them what to do, I forgot what the word they use is, but it teaches you how to like if you're doing a job interview, pick up on their communication style so you can identify that kind of a personality trait during an interview or during a conversation. But it's not meant to teach you how to do that. It's meant to teach you how to communicate back in order to motivate them using their language.
Okay. That's cool.
It's a good book. It's the book that opened up my eyes to, like, literally in a 30-minute non-technical interview, I could identify, like if I have 15 things that I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to find a person that has the most important and doesn't have the least important and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That and a few other books like it. Like I can have a 5, 10, 15-minute conversation and 100% of the time identify if they're the right person for those different matches.
Nice.
You know, what's so interesting about leadership is I find like it's kind of like something that applies amongst like a wide amount of fields. You know what I mean? It's not like as
Right.
technical as coding. It's like, okay, you learn to lead people in this field, you kind of take that with you somewhere else. But you know, the people in that other sector might use slightly different terminology to describe the same thing. Like something
Yeah.
I find that's important is like painting a picture, like painting a vision that people are going to follow. You know, that's something that's important as a leader. Like, where are we all moving? Like, how do y'all like give like share the vision and make people buy in?
Well, I'll say you can't make somebody buy in. I'll say that, right? Because like, you know, if I tell my dog to meow, I can't make the dog meow. Like it's gonna bark. Like they have to like really want to meow to try and meow. That
Mhm.
makes sense, right? We're like, and I didn't understand this until like, I'll give like an example of my last gig where it was like my my lead would always ask me, "Do you believe in this?" I didn't understand it. It's like, well, do I believe in it? Like, okay, maybe. But then I really had to think about it. Like, okay, they're putting on all this work to build out, its application because it's supposed to do X, Y, Z. But if we're gonna inherit all this framework and all this others, all of these things, if we're gonna inherit this project for a specific goal, one of us has to believe in it, whether it's myself or the lead or the other dev or whoever. But if only one person out of the three, if only 1/3 of us believes in it, but the other 2/3 are going to be working on it, there's no point. You know, it's like, why are we doing this if none of us believe in it? Like, Sean, let me ask you this: if you had to rewrite your application from React to Svelte, but none of your engineers believed in it, how would it have gone?
It wouldn't have gone.
Right? So it's like when it comes to like believing is half of the battle right there. Probably even more than that. Like writing the code is
Like,
easy.
like you mentioned, you can't
Well,
force
you
anybody to
have
believe it. You can make it more enticing. You know what I mean?
sometimes I have these special projects. Like I've been wanting to build a unit testing framework, more like a consistency testing framework. Because like the things that I do in my distributed system, I'm not
Yeah.
just testing input output. I'm testing, did a log happen? Did an event
Yeah.
drop into the database? Did the right things happen in the database? Did the right trigger point? Did all these things happen?
Mm-hmm.
But I want it to be a part of one unit test that all those things happened. And they're
Right.
very asynchronous, right? I've tried to put people on that project, but everyone's like, just write unit tests or just use mock tests. It's like, you're clearly the wrong person to help me. Like you'll get people that's why like you have to break people into different categories, like
Right.
a consulting mindset, an inventor's mindset, a tinkering mindset, or just do what's already done mindset. If you're doing a special project, you want somebody that wants to do it, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing like I'm doing, where I'm changing React into Svelte, fortunately, most of the people that resisted it, once they finally looked at Svelte, fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have one person on my team who's a consultant contractor type, and his whole livelihood is React. Like he's not going into Svelte very easy because he's looking at his future. Like not a single one of his contracts anywhere are asking for Svelte. They're all asking for React, right? So it's like you're going to get these personalities, but if you have a special project, you're going to have to put somebody on it that isn't going to fight you at every step, exactly like what you just said. No reason to fire them, but
Yeah.
you're either going to convince them or just put them on a different project.
Yeah. You're either with
Yeah.
me or not. You know. And
Yeah, I think that's a rational fear for a lot of the front end guys that have like, or anybody really, like they don't want to be locked into a niche. Like this company's using this relatively low popularity framework or technology. They've been doing it for years, and they're kind of stuck unless they're spending time outside of work studying the popular technology. Like I know Terrence kind of got stuck with the
That's why I'm
Shopify.
smiling. That's why I'm smiling. But there's nothing against old technology. Let me say that. Let me say I'm not, because I've spun the block several times and I've heard, oh, PHP is bad and WordPress is bad and Joomla and Drupal, and I'm like, yeah, but if you go online and you look up a job, right, people are still hiring for these languages. Like you have to
Mm,
take into consideration that like when the old guard passes away, somebody's gonna have to maintain these COBOL services. Somebody's gonna have to maintain these C whatever servers and old Microsoft infrastructures using IIS and whatever else. Somebody's got to learn it, right? You can't just spin up a mock service worker and use mock data. And it's like, yeah, but what if you don't have that? You know? And you one I'd say this, like, don't knock it until you try it. You might like it. So
mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna say that. Like, nothing against the old languages. If you need to get your foot in the door somewhere, it's definitely a good starting place. I just recommend just don't stay there. Like, keep moving.
People don't understand React is enormously complex.
It can
I'm
be, yeah.
surprised it's so popular, honestly, because it feels like such an overkill for certain simple things. But
Yeah.
microservices are also overkill, and like, and it's a trend. Like, can you do well, you're not just doing microservices, you're doing Docker and Kubernetes and all that
Hmm.
stuff, right?
Everything
Like
in
all that
between.
stuff is overkill, and if you've learned it, then you're going to have a pretty good paycheck. And I think that's why people keep it perpetuating. But where I'm at, it's like I want things simple. I just want things to get out the door with the least amount of complexity.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of time people add in these technologies because it looks good on the resume, and like especially JavaScript, it kind of got a reputation as it's a kiddie script language. So those in the JavaScript community, they kind of went the opposite direction and made things as complex as possible to kind of get that respect. Like
yeah.
let's
But
let's
complexity
make this.
doesn't just because they can make something super complex doesn't make it good. It's like
Exactly.
I'm one to just throw everything in the kitchen sink into a program and call it super sophisticated. And then when I put up that PR, they're just like, "What the heck did you do? Why is this way? Change this here. Do this that way. Blah 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 blah." And I'm slowly taking out all these things. It's like if somebody says, "I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich," and then I go off and I make them this 4-course meal and bring it back. Hey guys, I know you wanted this peanut butter jelly sandwich, but I made this 4-course meal. It does this and does that and blah 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 blah. And then it's
And then
like,
you find out they're allergic to sesame
and then
seeds.
yeah, then you find out that they're allergic to sesame seeds, and you're like, I didn't put sesame seeds in it, but the seasoning I bought, whatever, had like 3% sesame seeds. Like, it's you can easily make something super complicated if you want to, and that's great. But like, don't forget Kiss at the end of the day. Keep it simple.
Yes.
That's why
Simplicity
I'm
is way
always
better.
saying developers care about like their resume and technology and perfection.
Yeah, yeah.
Once I crossed over and became a CTO, I don't actually care about that. I care, is it done?
That's what I was gonna ask you too. It's like that 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 mindset came with age. It comes with experience. Because like I used to be very gun ho about like, oh, you can do this in React and it's so great and blah blah blah. I want you to do this and do that and blah blah blah. And I'm 1,000 miles a minute, like I'm on speed racer, and I'm just talking and yammering, and I have all these ideas, but I'm bringing a I'm bringing this bazooka to a fist fight, and there's no reason.
You'll
And
win.
I sure I could win, but I'm introducing all this complexity into a
Yeah.
basic project. So
I get
you
some
just
flack sometimes about the way our system was designed. It's not typical. But no one complains at all about how easy it is to do whatever you want with it under a deadline. It does not get in your way, and it's super easy to walk in and understand within a couple days.
Yeah.
And given how complex it is, but that's where my brain is when I'm an architect. Like, I just value simplicity. Has to meet the requirements. I'm not going to cut corners, but I'm also, I've been doing this since 1987. I know how to keep it simple, but it's a skill. Not everybody, not everybody knows how to simplify. It's definitely like I could spend a lifetime mentoring my employees on how to do that. I have to drop off. It's been about 2.5 hours. I have to get back. I have a deadline that's coming up, and I kind of have devoted my life to meeting that deadline.
Okay, man. Well, don't sacrifice sleep for your mental health. Stay
Never.
hydrated. Stay
Good to see you
hydrated.
in 5 minutes, Sean.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. My glass isn't just as much of a drought as California.
Yeah, I'm in the same position.
Yeah, same
Oh,
glass.
mine's full.
Well, there you go. What state are you in?
Texas.
That's why they're flooding. Oh, I should not have said that anyway.
I stepped into that one.
That was not.
I walked into that one.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, it was good to see you for a few minutes. And Kevin, thanks for the link. I haven't been on a lot of them lately. I'm generally not available until after the normal time.
I don't think we
he's
have
not
an
even
overtime.
I talk to myself anyway a lot.
It's okay, man.
That old joke, it's okay to talk to yourself. It's when you answer that it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm going to drop off. I'll see you again next time.
All right. Have a good one.
See you.
All right. Peace. Where did Kevin go? He invited you on. He disappeared.
He's dark right now. Kevin, where are you? You guys talk about simplifying and just not trying to do something that it's already proven that it's done this way, and trying to come up with your own way to do it.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm at that stage.
Yeah.
For sure. Today I was working on this this afternoon I was working on this evening I was working on this just like a regular bootstrap card on this angular front end, and I achieved what I wanted to do, right? But I spent 2 hours trying to do it another way.
Yeah.
Just to go back. I mean, I ended up doing it. I ended up doing it another way. It just ended up being a lot more, I don't know, complex, and it really didn't achieve anything at the end of the day. I just went right back to what I did the first time. I guess the benefit in that is that, well, I guess when you're learning, the benefit in that is that you get to dive into something really deeply and understand how it works.
Yeah.
But I didn't need that for Bootstrap.
Yeah. The thing that I would also consider is really thinking about the problem in depth before just jumping into solutions, because I'm guilty of this, where I will hear a problem or hear a bug, and then immediately I'll be like, oh, solution is da 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 da, and then I don't even hear the entire problem, or I'm not even thinking about all of the external things that are possibly related to whatever it is that I'm working with. And so I'll say but by me not looking at the full picture and only focusing on oh, I could change this to be like this, and then I solve this one thing. But by me solving that one thing, I cause more bugs in other places. So Like just take into consideration like the full scenario and how certain things are connected, and then work on your solution. Because it'll help like look for bugs like later on and help you understand like what is my solution really doing.
Yeah. And it makes what you just said made me think about like when you now starting to code, and you know you do like the basics, right? And you don't necessarily, let's see if I can find an example. I don't know, like in TypeScript, right?
Hmm.
You you know the whole point of TypeScript is that it's a heavily typed language, like
Yeah.
it's like JavaScript, right? And so you you can't really like you shouldn't really declare your variables without, like, you could, but without like typing them explicitly.
Hmm.
And you could like disable type checking with the by assigning a type of any, right, to a variable.
Yeah.
Um, right. So when because I'm fairly new to TypeScript, but learning it at like the beginning stages, it's important for you to like I kind of get why, like when you do like a lot of these tutorials, or like you take a TypeScript course and they're like, oh, like let's just put any for here right now, right? Later we'll learn more about like how how to like explicitly type your variables,
Yeah.
right? Um, but something like that for me, I don't like that. Like I want to like get into like I want to rip it apart and understand like how it's working
Yeah.
from the start. But it's important, right, that you kind of like stay at like a base level first, grasp the concept, and then like
Yeah.
move on to like more advanced concept.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess how this ties back into what you guys were saying is that sometimes it's easy, it's important to like do things the simple way.
Yes.
That's what it reminded me of. Sometimes it's important to do things the simple way first, and then later, if need be, in this scenario that I'm given, obviously you will need to do that later if you're actually building production applications,
Yeah.
or working on code that's in production. But it's important to just like really grasp it
Yes.
from
Focus on the
like at a basic level before
yes.
you kind of like try to like tear it apart.
Yeah.
And I could get into that.
Yeah. Understand it at the basic level, because when you have strong fundamentals, they can carry you. That's that's the that's a pillar I want to say. At least in if I was to have like authority or say like something I look for is like strong fundamentals. Because if you have strong fundamentals, you can build on top of that. You can work with that. It's like building a house, right? You have to have a strong foundation. You have to have a strong frame. You have to have good wood and all the materials that are going to be necessary to build that home, right?
Yeah.
If you have a muddy foundation, it doesn't matter how pretty the house looks, the color of the paint or the varnish on the whatever and how the inside looks or whatever. But if his foundation is bad, it's bad foundation. It's not gonna fly.
Right.
It's not gonna be well supported.
No.
So um yeah, you have to have that strong foundation, a strong understanding of and it doesn't have to be super in depth. If it's in depth, cool. But just like understand the basics of JavaScript and really get your hands dirty with it. Solve some problems. Same thing with TypeScript or any language or anything. Like yeah, yeah, and I've been there where I'm like, I want to learn this language because I want to do this one thing, but I'm following along with this tutorial, and I'm like, oh, I don't care about whatever he's teaching me on chapter one. I want to get to chapter 5 already. And I've jumped to chapter 5 and I'm like, holy shit, I'm lost. Because
Yeah.
I skipped chapters 1 through 4.
Yeah. I
So
do that a lot. I get into weeds a lot. sometimes I just gotta really be conscious about it and then pull myself up.
Yeah,
How's your week been, man?
it's been good, man. It's been good. I can't complain. Like it's been a lot of learning, a lot of note taking.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like getting into a lot of like unit tests and more React stuff, and learning about like mocking data and and like having to collaborate with different teams and stuff. And that's been fun. That's been fun. Um, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, my week is going great actually, and I guess that the subject of my week is just like learning.
Yeah.
Um, I'm about to actually commence a new project tomorrow, and
Nice.
it kind of involves like um, um, uh, cloud environments, and I've never really been uh, uh, had any exposure to that before.
Hmm.
AWS, Azure, those type of things, and I'm excited for it. Most of this week is kind of as I really my time was really taken up by Angular.
Yeah.
I was just working on some things, just trying to grasp some concepts, some things
Yeah.
that I was exposed to like a year ago. Really like
Hmm.
clicked for me today, and that's weird because I did a little tutorial and I built a little UI um, with this stuff before, and
Yeah.
it just took me like almost 8 months. And again, I wasn't really doing this for the entire 8 months, but I came back to it like maybe 3 times, but this time it really clicked. So I'm really happy about that. I feel like I'm making some progress
That's
when it comes to Angular.
yeah. That's
Sure.
good, man. It's all about like taking a break and like when coming giving your mind time to really make those neural pathways and absorb like what you're trying to learn. Like you're not gonna learn any faster by cramming. And I wish I learned that a long time ago, because I used to think, oh man, this person studies for hours and hours and hours on end. But it's really like studying smarter and not harder, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
it's like lifting weights, right? Going to the gym and lifting weights. Like if you lift with terrible form, you're gonna hurt yourself. But
yeah,
if you just focus on proper form, like the weight is gonna like being able to lift heavy weights is gonna come because your form is good, right? So back to the fundamentals thing. Like if you have strong fundamentals, you can pick up anything. You can learn anything.
yeah,
You just have to be patient.
yeah, yeah. Consistency too, right? Because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, for
I
sure.
I've been like I've been this year I've I've really tried my best to make sure that I learn as much that I could in Angular. But the thing that has been the most disruptive in that journey has been consistency.
Yeah,
And not because of just like being lackadaisical or anything like that or procrastinating. Just just not having a singular focus on that. You know,
right.
being pulled into different directions for various reasons,
Yeah,
in various
life
circumstances.
happens.
Yeah, and so sometimes I'm like I'm on this project and like I'm doing something over here that's maybe gonna take me a 2 week period or something like that, and I come back to what I learned 2 or 3 weeks ago in Angular, and then I'm trying to implement that, and I find that I have to like go back all the way and do that again just to like get to a place in the present where I feel like I can all right, now move forward. So
Mm,
just and all kinds of there are all kinds of reasons why people are consistent, but consistency, like if you can manage your time and your tasks and whatever other projects you have going on really well while learning, I think like consistency is like the biggest thing that can help you to learn to program or learn a new technology. Even if you only have like 2 minutes, right? Like even if you only have, okay, maybe not 2
Yeah.
minutes. Well, even if you only have like 20, 25 minutes to like jump into this thing, but you just have to make sure that you're consistent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've been doing that. I've been doing that.
Good. That's good, man. That's really what it's about. It's like, you know, that spending hours in the gym or whatever. It's that 20 minutes, those 30 minutes, taking your
Yeah.
time, like, and chipping away at it. You know, building whatever it is, like brick by brick. Don't. I think I've made this analogy before. You're not gonna go into Home Depot and ask for a wall of bricks already, you know, cemented and together, and put it on your truck and drive home and buy 4 of those, and then bam, you have your 4 walls to your house. It doesn't work that way. You know, you build it up like brick by brick, and each day is a brick, and each brick is 30 minutes, and you know, and the cement that combines those bricks together is whatever streak you have. If it's Monday, then sure, it's a holiday, but can you not take 10 minutes out of your day, learn about, you know, union types and TypeScript and how they are used? Then the next day, you know, all right, how do I make classes in TypeScript? How do I extend those? Boom. All right, cool. I learned that. And then not just like picking up random stuff here and there, but like really combining them together, like
Yeah.
having a goal. So, yeah, man, it's all good. That's how you do it.
Yeah, TypeScript is an interesting language to me. I think it's becoming one of my favorites. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's fun.
hey guys, yeah, let me just end the stream and we can just continue the convo off the cam.
Oh,
Okay.
we're